course you're pregnant. I figured that this meant I needed to decide if I wanted to become a mother, not realizing that I already was. I chose abortion because well-meaning loved ones encouraged it or offered no alternatives. I didn't think I would be able to finish college. I was ashamed to be pregnant outside of marriage. It was so easy to believe the lies, that what would be removed was simply a piece of tissue, that by having it removed, I could easily go on with my life, never looking back. Everything and nearly everyone was pointing towards abortion. This was not just my choice, this was the choice of a society. I recall a 9-hour bus trip, going to the clinic on a Thursday evening in October, my boyfriend standing at the counter handing over the $200. I remember walking down a long hallway, going into a room where they inserted a lemon area stick inside of me, told me to come back the next morning. That night was spent curled up in a baby inside the womb position, crying from the pain. My only memory of the next day is of walking down that same hallway, going into a room, climbing up on the table, and the excruciating pain. My memory returns the following Monday as I open a letter from the clinic stating that all of the tissue had successfully been removed. I now know that that tissue included the fully formed hands and feet and the once beating heart of my first child. How I wish I had fought for him. The next year was a steady blur of heavy drug and alcohol use, and for the next 16 years, I suffered from eating issues, nightmares, flashbacks, anger outbursts, low self-esteem, inability to trust anyone. I couldn't bond with my children, nor trust my parenting decisions. After all, look how I had done with my first. My marriage was falling apart, and ironically, I was fast on my way to becoming a single parent of 4. My healing journey began when a woman stood up at church, and she shared in front of more than 500 people that she had had an abortion, and that she had suffered until she went through a post-abortion healing program offered by our local pregnancy resource center. HEART stands for Healing Encouragement for Abortion-Related Trauma. And this program not only saved my life, but it saved my marriage as well. To sum it up in one sentence, I started it feeling as if I would never amount to anything more than a woman at the well. And I finished it absolutely certain that I was a beloved daughter of our Almighty King. And more good news is that this program is offered right here in Portland for men as well as women, 50322-HEART. So the challenge we all face then is how do we express our convictions that abortion is wrong without condemning those who've already chosen it? I believe that the more the pro-life movement's message transitions from condemnation towards compassion, the more successful that we will be. You see, it not only needs to be about the very important work of saving the babies, it needs to include saving the souls of those who've chosen it as well. Galatians 6:2 states that we are to carry each other's burdens and in this way fulfill the law of Christ. But in order for this to happen, first, those with the burden must trust enough to share it. So please consider the message that you're conveying. Because I can assure you, when an unrestored, post-abortive person sees a message from the pro-life movement that is condemning or judgmental, that it's much more likely to send them deeper into denial than towards the healing program. Myself, Deb Tilden, Tamara Johnson, and many others here today have joined an organization, 7,200 other women and men around the country. Also, there's several people here. Silent No More addresses abortion through personal testimonies that touch hearts. Evidence of the damage that abortion causes women, men, and others will help persuade society that a woman experiencing an unexpected pregnancy deserves better. Just this week, my being silent no more helped to persuade a woman into canceling her Thursday morning at 9 o'clock abortion appointment and coming instead to the Pregnancy Resource Center. So we are making a difference. If any of you have been involved in the poor choice of abortion, please contact us on the web, here at our 2 booths, by telephone. And please, if you are hurting, you do not have to hurt any longer. We need you and you need us. As the pro-life movement increases its message of hope and healing, the walking wounded are coming out of the woodwork, finding healing and encouraging others to do the same. And as this happens, it's becoming more and more difficult for the pro-choice crowd to hold their position. You see, they can hold it on legal grounds. Abortion is still legal. And they can hold it on moral grounds by simply denying the faith that we base our morals upon. But I'm not quite sure they know what to do with this. I have a child who would be 29 years old. His name is Adam, and how I wish he were here. I've heard it said that when we share events like this that we're simply being exploited. I can assure you that is not the case. You see, we were exploited when we were lied to, denied alternatives, encouraged, pressured, coerced, and sometimes even threatened into the doors of the abortion clinic. And we were exploited when we were denied the opportunity to grieve the loss of our children. And we were exploited when we were left alone to suffer with the aftermath of our society's poor choice. So we are not being exploited now. Instead, we are, and with your continued help, will be silent no more. Thank you.